I want to make my mom a table for her 70th birthday. I've got a design that I don't think you've seen anything like before. It works with the natural properties of wood, all the connections are joinery, and there is really no backside to this beast. Oh, one other thing. Most of this joinery doesn't get glued. It's 6 weeks to her birthday, and I've booked off 2 to get the job done. But over the weekend, before I start, my youngest gets the flu. Then my oldest does. So the time I carved out from work has been replaced with watching my kids. 3 weeks later, this story can finally begin. And like most good furniture projects, it starts with a piece of wood hanging out at the back of a truck. The top is made of 4 pieces of white oak. It's for my mom, so I take great care in choosing the grain. Finally, indecision is resolved. I place the sleepers under the clamp to avoid the natural tannins from the oak reacting with the iron in the pipe clamp during glue up. It otherwise leaves a nasty little stain that would need to be removed later. The tabletop gets glued in 2 halves and then as one solid piece after. My 9 to 5, or I should say 6 to 3, is construction management these days. For my current project, we awarded the millwork trade and I asked them to make this template for me. Before this top starts getting its shape, I need to mark out the directions of the legs before I lose the square reference. I'm using a second-hand miter gauge with the name Leo Trepanier inscribed on it. Looking at his name reminds me of a saying that you die twice. The day you die, and the last time someone says your name. If you're a woodworker, I might suggest you die 3 times. And what I'm referring to is the last moment something you built ceases to exist would be the 3rd. I used to support myself as a woodworker and cabinet maker. During that time, I used a lot of white oak. The staining on my hands is from the tannins in the oak reacting with all the pipe clamps and cast iron I've been handling. Over the 7 years of that career, my hands must have been stained 60-70% of the time. I'm trimming most of the fat on the bandsaw, so my flush router bit has less work to do. This steep undercut on the tabletop does two things. It lightens the visual weight of the top and appears very thin, and it also conceals the dovetail track. This is the last of 4 risky cuts I'm doing on the bandsaw, so I can relax a bit. I start with a little personal celebration. The tabletop is in good shape now, so I can start on the skirt board and suspended tray, all of which has joinery which is never intended to be glued. I did a YouTube short showing this intricate skirt board design, and I noted that it took me a long time. Someone responded saying it was because I Swiss cheesed it, and I have to agree. I wish I made a template instead. The skirt board is modeled after an open web truss, which is a structural component usually found in commercial buildings. Getting this detail completed was tedious at times, but I'm glad I got to the other side of it. This whole assembly is fitted with dry mortise and tenon joinery. It can't fall apart because it is limited in movement due to the slotted dovetail track. And those dovetails act as a means of hanging the tray while retaining flatness of the top. I used to work for an architect, and he was always pleased when a detail did two things, so I know he would approve of this. It is important to drill the bottom of a wedge tenon so it acts as a termination point and prevents the split from continuing down your leg. This is a design I'm really proud of, as it checks so many boxes of what I believe to be a thoughtful piece. The tabletop has the ability to move seasonally without restrictions. The top will remain flat due to the dovetail on the skirt board. All connections are achieved through traditional joinery. Some don't even need glue to serve their purpose. And a lot of the details are hiding under the top like an Easter egg hunt for those willing to explore and appreciate. I enjoyed making this table and video. If you enjoyed it as well, please consider subscribing and joining for my projects in the future. Thanks for watching.